Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video I have a couple of skeins of yarn from Hobby Lobby and then I have one from Michaels, and I don't have any makes in this video because I'm still sort of recovering from all the stuff I did for Christmas and all that. It's just a huge job every year to do all this stuff for Christmas. Of course it's worth it because Christmas is so much fun and it's a huge part of our family, but I did so much at Christmas I just haven't been doing anything. I've just been sitting around like a big lump. I'm just doing absolutely nothing, and then I think, well, maybe I'll just go out and go shopping and just like I'm just not doing anything. But I did get a couple things. I found some yarn or whatever after Christmas, and then because by the time this comes out it's probably way after Christmas, but that's how far ahead I am in filming. So I'm gonna be talking about the couple days after Christmas, and then just the rest of it is sort of like a bunch of random stuff. There's some sort of yarn related pictures that I'm gonna hang up in this room in these calendars I'll show, but for the most part other than the yarn, it's just like a bunch of random stuff in one of my variegated videos. But anyway, I'll start with the Hobby Lobby stuff. Even though I went into Hobby Lobby, it was the first time I went into Hobby Lobby since Christmas, and I was hoping that because the Christmas holiday may have like shifted the shipment day or whatever, I was hoping that they would have some yarn on clearance, and they did. They had I got 10 skeins, and then they had like 3 or 4 skeins of those Crafty Secret Cotton. I left those, of course, because I don't like to get those anymore. But they had 10 skeins, which is kind of small compared to like some of my other hauls, like ridiculous hauls. But the skeins in here are so nice. Or not even skeins. There's a couple hanks of yarn. Like, I mean, it's sort of a small haul, but it's big when you actually break it down into like what I actually got in this haul. It's just insane. So I got one of these Yarn Bee Effortless Super Bulky in the color Delphinium. I got another one of these. God, this is so pretty. And this is so much softer than their other Effortless Super Bulky skeins, like the ones that are kind of neutral colors and all that. I mean, they're soft. They're okay. They're more substantial, like thicker. But these, this is the second one I've gotten. It has all these purples and teal blues and greens and just like all these really gorgeous colors. They're so like nice and soft and a little bit thinner than the other Effortless Super Bulky, but God, this is so nice. And so this was $2.24 because the regular price for this is $8.99. So this is a kind with alpaca in it because you can kind of see a little bit of hairiness in it. But you know, regular $8.99 got it for $2.24. So like, yeah, this is sort of a small haul for me. My ridiculous yarn buying ass, but like a lot of nice skeins like this. So there's that one, and then this one, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Low Pill Fiber, and then the color is so pretty. It's teal blue. It is like a really, I'm still on that like don't say gorgeous kick. It is a really pretty teal blue color, like a really deep dark kind of teal blue, and nice and soft, one of those soft and sleek skeins. So a regular $4.99 got it for $1.24. So got that one, and then another Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. This was a chunky, and the color is, I was looking at the price first. The color is, that's my problem. I keep looking at the price first and then I'll look at the color. No, the color is mustard. So like it's one of those skeins that like the mustard yellows are always kind of like a goldish sort of color in yarns, and so it's the color mustard. Regular $4.99 got it for $1.24. So this is the chunky kind, and this is just like a regular one. See, it's just like a slight difference. It is like a chunkier yarn. So that's really nice. And then a Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Aran and the color Charcoal. Like, see, this is weird. This is just my narcissistic ass sort of making it all about me. No, but I walked in there, and then I get like, you know, one of these, which I just love, and I've, you know, talked about how nice this skein is, and then like a teal blue, which I love, and then this is like black, or it's charcoal, but like it's like a dark, really dark gray velvet. It's just sort of weird how a lot of these just seem geared towards my interests. I mean, it is really weird. And so like a Yarn Bee Pearl Spun, which again I've said that I love the Pearl Spun, and the color Jade, like one of those, this kind of a teal color. And again, I think Jade is like supposed to be a green shade, isn't it? I thought that Jade was like a green color, but it's like a teal blue. Or am I thinking of some other? There's a colorway in one of these skeins of yarn that I've gotten recently where I felt like it was it's on the green spectrum, but it was sort of a bluish color. No, it was that eyelash yarn that it seems more blue in person, but I think that I think one of the words in the name is jade or something, but I always thought jade was a green color, but I don't know. And then Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, another chunky skein, and like another sage green color. Like you know, I've said I love, like I'm starting to love olive greens and sage greens and stuff, and like there's an, I mean, yeah, this is 10 skeins or like, you know, plus or 8 skeins plus 2 hanks, but they're really pretty ones, and they're ones that, like, you know, are sort of exactly like the ones that I would want. And so this is the color sage. Oh, it is like a nice sage green, but it's a chunky yarn. Regular $4.99, got it for $1.24. And then they had one of these really pretty baby bee soft and snuggly. It's like that really thin kind of chenille yarn, or sort of more velvety than chenille, and it's called Rainbow Bloom, which I haven't gotten before, and it's really nice. They're kind of like icy pastels if you really look at it. I mean, some of the shades in here look a little more pastel than like an icy, but it is like a really thin velvety chenille yarn that is sort of icy pastels, like blues and pinks and a little bit of green in there, and I mean, it's really Rainbow Bloom is the colorway. Regular $5.99, got it for $1.49. And then Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Sparkle. You know how I love sparkle yarns. It's just so weird that I mean, there's only 10 skeins to really talk about, but I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, I love this one because of this, and I love this one because of this. It wasn't hard to grab all of these. And this is the color navy, so it's like a deep, dark navy blue, which is really, I mean, it looks like you're looking into space. All the stars, like twinkling stars and stuff. I just love it. And then the last two are these hanks, and it's, I'm shocked that I got some of these, because I got some during the big markdown, and they're more expensive, but like even 75% off, I'm thinking that's like the price of like 3 skeins of yarn, 4 skeins of yarn, or no, 3 skeins of yarn, and a little bit more. But I never expected to get any more of these hanks, but they had 2 of them over there. And these aren't the same colorways that I gotten that were discontinued, so I don't know why these were there clearance. But it's these Yarn Bee authentic hand-dyed hanks, and like I'm almost like leery of using the ones that I have, because I feel like this is a really luxury yarn, because this is expensive, and it's hand-dyed yarn and stuff, and it is thinner than the yarn that I'm normally used to. But at the same time, I'm thinking, the ones that I have, that they're really pretty, but they're kind of like luxury yarns, and for some reason I have this block in my head where if I have like a really nice yarn and I feel like I'm never going to get it anymore, because like those hanks, I knew that like those were probably going to be the ones on my shelf over here. I knew that they were probably going to be the only ones that I was ever going to get, because I'm too cheap to buy them regular price at $16.99 a hank. But even though it's worth it, I mean, it's nice hand-dyed yarn, but I knew that I would be too cheap to buy them, and then I knew that they probably weren't going to have any more on clearance. So I'm sort of, it's kind of like some of my other yarns, like the Chromatic Spectrum that I got from the big markdown. Like this is one of the most gorgeous skeins of yarn that I've gotten, and like this gorgeous teal blue with all these stunning, beautiful, whatever, a gorgeous teal blue with all these other colors kind of streaked in, but it's like this teal blue color, and I only have 3 of these, and like I want to make something with this so bad, but I just feel like this was discontinued, so I only have 3 skeins of this, and I'm not going to buy it, you know, for $18 a skein on eBay. So I just feel like I only have 3 of these. I'm only ever going to have 3 of these, and so there's like this block in my head, like, don't use it until you figure out the perfect project for it. And so there are a couple yarns like that I have in my collection, and I just that I don't want to use, and those hanks are the same kind of thing, because also these are supposedly like luxury yarns, and so I'm not going to buy them brand new, because I'm so damn cheap when it comes to yarn, and so I never thought I'd get any more, but I got 2 of these kinds of yarns. I was shocked that they were in there, and this is the color Zahara or Zahara. Z-A-H-A-R-A, however you are supposed to pronounce that. Zahara, you know, me from the South, my Southern accent. But these were regular $16.99, and the clearance price was $4.24. Really nice hand-dyed hank. I mean, I'm just blown away that I got more of this. I couldn't believe it that they were in there. So it feels like they had sort of a small amount of yarn on clearance this week compared to the other weeks, but I just feel like it's probably because they had 2 of these over there, and they probably thought, well, we're losing like a lot of money putting these on clearance, so we're just gonna have like a small haul this week. I don't know how it all works, but I was shocked that this was in there. And this is my favorite one. The Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed, and the color is Market at Malta, M-A-L-T-A. I don't know what that means, but really pretty, like just rainbow colors practically. Really nice magentas and like, trying to describe the spectrum of colors. Like every color you can probably think of is in this one. And so, you know, $16.99 regular price, and so $4.24 for that. Yeah, it's more expensive than I'm used to paying for clearance yarn and stuff, but this is like more expensive regular price. So I had to get both of these, so I did. So now that I got like 2 more of these, I need to figure out like the perfect thing to use for these. I know that it's going to be different. I've seen videos where if I wasn't such a big fat ass and could like actually sit down on the couch with my knees up to my chest, there's no freaking way I could do that. I know that like you can do that like when you untwist the hank. I've seen the videos how you do that, because I don't have one of those spinning thing. Hedgy, tell me again. No, from another video. What was that? That umbrella looking thing, yeah, the Swift, that's what it is. That thing that you can put the hanks on, like once you untwist it, and then it spins or whatever as you can kick up the yarn and unravel it. I'm gonna end up doing the thing like on Heidi with that, you know, guy holding the yarn or whatever, and the grandmother like, you know, rolling a ball, or like I guess you can put it on the back of a chair or something. But I know how to do it. I just don't have one of those big Swift things or whatever. Once I unravel it and turn it into a ball of yarn, I need to figure out like what to use this for. It is thinner than the regular yarn I'm used to. I think it's a 1 or a 2. Yeah, a super fine 1. I think that's what that says. God, I need glasses on my eyes. Trying to look at these labels all the time. But yeah, super fine 1. And so it is a really thin yarn, but it's really nice and soft, and the colors are just, I cannot believe how beautiful these colors are, especially in this one. And so I do have those other ones, and so now that I have like 2 more that I never thought I would ever get, I really do need to figure out what to use this for, and not feel that hesitation of using it like I'm using something that I'm never going to get again, because I got 2 more. So and they'll all probably match. I do have some that are kind of neutral colors, and I do have a couple that are like the rainbow kind of colors. Not this same colorway, but I don't know. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe that was in there. So I got that haul. But in between, because this was. I got the yarn at Hobby Lobby the 3rd trip in there, because I went in there, it was after Christmas or whatever, and they did get a shipment in, and so I saw that they were still working around in there, and so that's when I went to other places, and then I went back in there, and then I went home, and then I went back in there like a 3rd time the same day, and there was the yarn. So it was like my 3rd trip in there, but whatever. And when I went in there the first time to see if they had any yarn, and they were like putting the shipment away, and they weren't done, I did go to Michael's that day, but I didn't find any yarn that day. The Michael's skein I got, it was like the next day. So I'll go ahead and show that. I'm sort of jumping ahead, but I did go to Michael's, and like there was no changes. Like nothing in that gap there where when they moved the shelf, and there was no new yarn or whatever. It was just like, you know, nothing was different. And so after the holiday, but I did go to Michael's, you know, a day or 2 later, and I found another one of those Lion Brand Heartland yarns, and the colorway is dried tortugas, which I think isn't that tortoise like a turtle in Spanish, tortugas. I think that's what it is. I took Spanish for 5 years in middle and high school or whatever. I should know that, but it's kind of like a cream color, and I'm sure that they had this the day that I walked in there and first bought this. I bought it the day I went in there and I first bought this Heartland yarn, but that first time I went in there and got like, you know, a couple skeins of each, I wanted to get like the really vibrant colors, and then like I'm looking back on it, I feel like they had that light blue that first day I went in there, that I got in my last haul. I feel like when I bought all that Heartland yarn, I feel like they had that light blue that first day, but I didn't get it. And then I saw it in there when I went back to get all that rest of this Heartland yarn, and then they had like a couple skeins of the light blue. I didn't buy it initially because I wanted to get those really vibrant colors. And I'm sure that they had this. They had so much yarn on clearance that time I went into Michael's. I didn't want to get an overabundance of yarn that day because I knew that I was probably going to get some from Hobby Lobby on their shipment day. So I only grabbed like the really vibrant colors and just a couple of them. So they did have some solids, and I'm sure that they had this before. But then when I went back, they didn't have any of this. But then when I went this day, they had it must have been like a straggler or like one that was in the drawer or something. And so I went ahead and got this because I can pair it with all the other ones that I have. It's just like a nice kind of a creamy ivory color, but you know, dry tortugas, and which it is. Turtle in Spanish, right? But that was the next day, and it was $3 too. So I got that. But going back to the other day, while I was out, I went to Goodwill, and they had a Harry Potter mug. It's a really oddly shaped mug. It's kind of cool though. But it has a Gryffindor on it, and I don't see how the mug is shaped. It's a little dirty in there. I need to clean it. But I mean, it doesn't look like dirty dirt. It just looks dusty. But it's kind of. I've never seen a mug that's shaped like this. It's cool though. Like your whole hand can fit in it. But I don't know. It's a really cool Gryffindor mug. This was $3.99. So I got that to go with my Harry Potter collection. We wanted to go to Goodwill because, like I said in my Christmas video, my mom, my brother and sister-in-law and niece technically gave us gift cards, and so they gave my mom a $10 gift card from Goodwill for Christmas, and then I got a $10 gift card from Amazon. So we were going to go to Goodwill anyway to get something with her gift card, and she got her some stuff, some shirts or like whatever. But this was like with my money. No, I didn't use her gift card to buy me a freaking mug. But whatever. And so but we wanted to go to Goodwill to use her gift card. And so while I was there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this. And so it has a Gryffindor on it. It's a really cool little mug. Does this have like a special name? Like it feels like there's a difference between like a mug and a stein. It feels like this it looks like a barrel. I don't know, like a barrel mug. I don't know what it is. It's just like a random mug. But speaking of mugs, while we were in there, we had gone into Goodwill a couple days before that. It was like before Christmas, and we saw these mugs in there, and we thought they were funny, but we didn't get them, and because we thought, like, what would we do with that? I mean, it's like a funny novelty mug. They had two of them, and they were together, and they had these funny novelty mugs, and but we just didn't know what to do with them. And then when they came over for Christmas and stuff, and my niece took home most of her Wednesday stuff, and I didn't need that shelf that I bought at Restore that is like one of those that goes behind a toilet that I was going to put on top of my niece's shelf to kind of expand it, because she has a tiny little Wednesday shelf in her room, or it's not a tiny shelf. It looks tiny because it's so full of Wednesday stuff. In her playroom, she has this little black shelf, and so I wanted to expand it because I knew I was going to be getting her a lot of Wednesday stuff for Christmas. And so I found that shelf at Restore, and it has that gap in the under part of it, because it's supposed to be one that goes over a toilet in a bathroom, and so it has to have that area there for the toilet, and then there's like a shelf that goes above the toilet, and so it was like the perfect thing to go over on my niece's shelf. But when she took most of her Wednesday stuff home that we had gotten her for Christmas, I thought, well, I don't really need that shelf for her Wednesday stuff, and so I thought we'll just stick it in our bathroom, and so it looks really nice in our bathroom. And so when I was thinking about that, when we had that shelf in the bathroom and stuff, I was starting to think about those novelty mugs, and the mugs, what they look like are toilets. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous, and I'll show them. But they're like toilet-looking mugs, and so when I have that shelf in the bathroom now, I thought, like, as ridiculous as those mugs were, we're not going to actually sit around and drink anything out of a freaking toilet, like a toilet-shaped mug. But like, I was thinking about that shelf in the bathroom, and I thought it would be like a funny novelty thing that we could put on there, like just to get a reaction out of my brother and sister-in-law and my niece if they come back over here and like go into the bathroom and see them, and like I'm just imagining like my niece in there and her laughing, and then us saying, you know what she's laughing at. She probably just noticed those freaking toilet mugs on the back of the toilet shelf or whatever. It's just gonna be so funny, like hearing this little laughter behind the door of the bathroom, and knowing exactly what it's for, because she saw those freaking toilets. But because we were gonna go to Goodwill anyway, so my mom could find something with her gift card, I thought, like, if they have those mugs, like, we were hoping to get those mugs, but we assumed that they were going to be gone, because we just figured, somebody around here would find these funny, like, oh, look at this, and then, like, take it home, and then they wouldn't have them, but they actually had them. And so we bought these, and have them on our shelf in the bathroom. I mean, they're utterly ridiculous. These, like, toilet shaped mugs, I mean, we would never drink out of them, but, like, it's a fun, like, I don't even know what to put in them, because like, yeah, I guess it'd be like the perfect thing to put, like, keep in the bathroom. And like, if there was like something that we could put in there, I don't know what to put in these, but they're just like these funny novelty things to go on that shelf in the bathroom. I mean, it is like a mug. I guess you're supposed to drink out of a toilet. Like, who would think of this stuff? I don't know. I mean, it's the perfect kind of thing to go into a bathroom and, like, put, I don't know when in, like, Q-tips, or, like, I don't know what you'd put in there. A loofah when you're not using it. I don't use it, one of those loofah sponges. Like, something like that. I don't know what you would put in this, unless people are like, well, we'll make a coffee mug and make it like a toilet, so I can sit on in front of the grandkids and show them, oh, look at your grandpa drinking out of a toilet. I don't know what it's for, but it's like for our amusement in our bathroom, and probably my nieces and brother and sister-in-law's amusement when they come over here the next time and go into the bathroom, and they're going to see this and laugh their asses off. But I don't know. So we did get these in Goodwill, but they're utterly ridiculous. But we couldn't believe that they were still there, or we should be able to believe they're still there, because, like, who would buy these other than our ridiculous asses? But whatever. And then we went to Salvation Army. This was a different day, because it's just all random. But we went to Salvation Army. The only thing we got in there was, my mom loves I love too, the Lion King, like the original, like, 1994 version. And I know that date because every single time it's on TV, my mom always turns it on and wants to make sure she catches the very beginning. And that's the only part she loves. You know, the iconic opening of the Lion King. And we know the dates because, like, she's always looking for 1994, because, like, that one's always better than the remake. The remake was really nice. I actually saw it in the theater. The remake. It was like the live action version of the Lion King, where it's like all CGI'd. Like, I literally was in the theater and almost got emotional. Like, they did do it really well. They changed a few things about it and stuff, and it wasn't. It's just not as good as the original. Like, what bothers my mom about the remake is that they don't show them, like, they don't show them all, because they for realism or whatever, they don't show them all, like, bowing down to Simba and stuff. It's so stupid. Like, how they let me go off on a little rant, because this is sort of a random video, but I hate that, like, the changes that they made in the remake of the Lion King, like, under the explanation of, like, oh, we wanted it to be more real, like the lack of facial expressions and stuff. I'm like, okay, you want to make them look more realistic and stuff, but then if you're doing it for if you're making all these changes for realism, then why do you still have them, like, singing and dancing and stuff? But whatever. It was just like a stupid thing. But I didn't like some of the changes in the beginning of the Lion King, but I actually did get a little almost emotional in the theater, because they did capture it so well, and just that iconic music or whatever. But I mean, she'll watch the remake on TV too when it's on. But there's nothing that compares to the original 1994 version. But so we love the Lion King, and they had this, they wrapped it in this, what is this? Oh, it's like Christmas paper. I guess they ran out of, like, newspapers or something, because in Salvation Army, when you get something that's breakable, they usually wrap it in, like, old newspapers and stuff. And she wrapped it in this, like, Christmas paper. I'm sure this is, like, some expensive gift wrap or something. It's really gorgeous. I'm probably going to keep it and reuse it or something. I don't know. But it's really pretty. But they had a Lion King Christmas ornament. It says Hakuna Matata, on it. And it has, Simba and Timon and Pumbaa or whatever. And I wish that we could find an ornament where it shows Rafiki holding a Simba up, like the iconic image that everybody associates with the Lion King. But this is really cool too, and so it's going to go on our Christmas tree. This is only $2.99 in there, and so I really do love that, and we love the Lion King so much. God, the songs have been stuck in my head since my childhood. I just love it, and so she wrapped it. It's really pretty paper wrap. Like, well, who cares? It's like freaking paper. Whatever. This is supposed to be crocheting with EG, and I'm like showing. Look at this pretty paper that the Hakuna Matata, Lion King king ornament was wrapped in. Like, who cares? God. Anyway, so I got that at Salvation Army. But what was I almost got some yarn, but I would have been stealing it out of somebody's cart. God, it's so embarrassing to even think about it. But I was over there where the books were, and I always like when somebody's looking at the DVDs, I always like to like look at the. I mean, I look at the books too, but like I always have to like look extra hard at the books because I want to stay over there. Because the second somebody moves when they're looking at the DVDs, I want to like go over there and get first dibs. You know, looking at them. So like while I was standing over there looking through the books or whatever, waiting for the person to move while they were looking at the DVDs, there was this cart sitting there, like where the books were, where the books are and where they were. God, my southern accent is ridiculous. Where the books were in there. But there was this cart there, and see, with Salvation Army, sometimes like the way they bring stuff out from the back and like put it on the shelves, they bring it out in extra carts, and so it looked like one of those carts that was just like sitting in the store sometimes, where they just haven't, they got distracted. Somebody came up to the register and wanted to buy something, and they had limited employees, and so sometimes the person that runs the register will, when there's nobody around, will go back to the cart and like put the stuff on the shelf, and then when they see a customer go up to the register, then they leave, and then they go back up to the register. So like there are carts sitting around sometimes with just like random stuff in it, and so there was nobody around other than like the guy that was there at the DVDs. There was like the whole book section, and there was like a cart like sitting in the middle of it, and there's always a cart there with like a whole bunch of overflow of books or whatever that just haven't been put on the shelves because there's not room. There's always like carts sitting around, and so I like walked over to this cart, it was like radar. I saw this bag of like eyelash yarns, like these really pretty eyelash yarns like these that I've gotten at Goodwill and stuff, and it was like this little bag, because in the craft section they didn't have any yarn, but I saw that bag and I thought I'm going to be the first one to get this, because it hasn't even been put on the shelf yet. And so I walked over to the cart, and I had it in my hand, and then this woman walked over. It literally took her like 20 seconds because she was that far away from her cart, but she walked over and said, oh, that's my cart. And I thought, really? Because you walked like 30 feet away from your cart. You were just like standing over there, and so like left her cart there. It's not like she had her purse in it. It was like a bunch of like random stuff. It looked like one of those carts it's always in Salvation Army. And so she wasn't even near her cart. She just kind of left her cart sitting there and like walked away. It literally took her like 20 seconds to walk back over to it. And so like of course I naturally thought that it was just like a random cart. And so I embarrassed myself, like digging through somebody's cart. I didn't dig through her cart. I'm exaggerating, but like it was like right there, and so I picked it up, and then she like came over and said, "Oh, that's my cart," and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was just like some random cart," and then I put it back in her cart. And then as I was walking away, I said, "Oh, you got you some nice yarns there," and like which didn't come out right. I'm sure it was like those were some nice yarns, or like what my stumbling ass. But I tried to like make it sort of like this funny thing, and so I said, "Oh, you got some nice yarns there," and then she literally had no reaction at all, like as if she had just lost her hearing and didn't hear a freaking word that I was about to cuss. She didn't hear a freaking word that I said, or it was weird. I mean, I said it loud enough, but she was just like acted like I didn't even say anything. I don't know if she was like upset that I was like digging through her cart or whatever. I mean, I literally just like went like this and like grabbed the yarn. It's not like I was digging through it, like, oh my god, like I just like picked it up or whatever. And I don't know, maybe she was just as uncomfortable as I was, but it was just like this weird awkward moment where I'm like getting ready to take something out of somebody's cart, and of course it's yarn of all things, but whatever. But it was hers, and so she got it. What probably stumbled out of my mouth was true. Like she was getting her some really nice yarns. They look like really vibrant colors and like really pretty eyelash yarns, not like really odd looking, like really pretty eyelash yarns that would have made nice trims on things, and I could have mixed with some things. I would have bought that bag of it was like one of those tiny little it looked like one of those bags that like those zipper bags that not even like comforters come in. It's like it was a sort of a small bag that maybe like a sheet set came in, like one of those, like full of those eyelash yarns. And so she got lucky finding it before I did, and I just got embarrassed, digging through her frickin' cart over yarn, God, but whatever. And so that was just like the Salvation Army stuff. And then I went to Dollar General one day, and I was looking through the calendars because it was like the end of the year, and so we wanted to get a new calendar. And they had one with cats on it, and the cover image has yarn on it. And so I love this. And so it has yarn on it, and I don't know if this is crochet or that has to be crocheted, unless there's some knitted stitch that I don't really know about. It's like a sort of a wavy pattern. Can you knit like that? Make a wavy pattern like that? I don't know if it's knitting or crochet. I mean, if it's crochet, I don't know what stitch it is either, but maybe it is knitting. But just a really pretty little picture of kitties, and like I have so many kitty stuff because that's the only thing that you could find in the store with balls of yarn or whatever on it. But whatever. So this is gonna be like my yarn room with like a bunch of kitties everywhere. But it's a really pretty picture, and of course the cover says cats on it. But if you go to the actual page, it's November 2026, and so this is the original picture, like the full picture without the words on it. Although they cut the ball off a little bit over here on the edge, but I'm gonna put this up in my room anyway. So this calendar is gonna have like October 2026 gone from this calendar. I went ahead and got two because I knew I would be cutting this out, and I didn't want to wait until after November 2026 to put this up in my room. And so I did get another one. This is only $1, and so they do have really nice cheap calendars at like Dollar Generals and stuff. But I just couldn't believe that it had like knitting and or crocheting or yarn balls or whatever on it. They do have a picture in here, like right here on like the page with like the last 4 months of the previous year. And the little picture down here, it looks like the kitty's laying on something crocheted or knitted or whatever. I don't know if I should like cut that out and put that up in my room. God, I'm gonna be like some teenager with a bunch of like collages of pictures all over my walls and stuff in here. But they're all gonna be like kitties with like yarn or crocheted or knitted stuff or whatever. But there's that picture, and then the February 2026 picture is this one with the kitty, and it looks like it actually looks like crochet in the back loop only, but I'm not really sure. That's what it kind of looks like. It kind of looks like when you're making a hat and you go in the back loop only, and it creates that stretch. That's what it looks like. A little black cat in a crocheted thing. And so I may put that picture up in my room too. But anyway, and so when we got home, I felt like I know we got a cat calendar at Ollie's, and I can't remember how much this was because it was like a couple weeks before that. And so it's like cranky kitties. We got this because we thought my niece would love the like cranky kitty pictures or whatever. But it has like these funny pictures of cats and stuff. But I was looking at it, I was thinking, I wonder if there's any with yarn. And there's a picture. It's January 2026, and the cat looks like she's wrapped up in it looks like a knitted sweater or something. I thought that picture was kind of cute. I don't know if I'll hang this up in my room or not, but I mean, it does look like knitted or crocheted or something. It does look knitted, but it's just like the cute picture in this calendar too. But I don't know. It's just ridiculous how this room is has been overtaken with yarn for one thing, but now it's going to be overtaken with all these kitty pictures everywhere because it seems like the only artwork you can find anywhere or like artwork or pictures or whatever in calendars and stuff with yarn, they always have kitties on them. And then while at Dollar General, they were getting their Valentine stuff out. Like I said, I love to look through their Valentine stuff anywhere I go because I love to get like heart stuff for my Lucy collection and like little decorations or whatever. But they had these really pretty flowers, and so I got my mom too, and then I got me too. They're really pretty. They're kind of holographic in a way, and like depending on the way the light shines through them, because they're a little see-through, and it creates this kind of like blue effect or kind of rainbow effect, and I mean it's really cool how this. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. See how the light, the way depending on how the light shines through, it's really pretty. These little these were only $1 each, and so these little holographic flowers and stuff. So what I need to do is go to some of the other Dollar Generals that are getting their Valentine stuff out, and see if they have any more of these, because I bet my niece would love these too. So I got those, and then they had in the front of the store, like where the magazines were, they had this like Nick 90s retro coloring book, and I'm not gonna sit around and color this. I mean, I don't think I will, but it's just like 90s Nickelodeon coloring book. What sucks is since Disney bought Doug, and I wasn't really crazy about like the new Doug or whatever that came out on Disney. I'm sure I watched some of it, but I need to give it a shot if it's streaming anywhere. They never put it out on DVD, but I always loved the original 90s Nickelodeon Doug. And but ever since Disney bought it out back then, they never, like when they do anything Nickelodeon related like this, they never include Doug, because I guess it's owned by Disney now. The character of Doug Funny. But it has like Rugrats and All Real Monsters and Ren and Stimpy, and it's just like a really cool, and Rocko's Modern Life and Hey Arnold, and it's like a retro coloring book about 90s Nickelodeon. I mean, it's really cool. But I got it because I love 90s Nickelodeon, and I grew up in the 90s, and I love almost every single one of these cartoons. But I mainly got it because Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy and All Real Monsters and all that. But I just like this random thing. I can't remember how much this was, and I don't have my receipt. So but anyway, another thing I was looking at in Dollar General was that they had their Christmas stuff on clearance, and they do have a lot of like Dolly Parton Christmas stuff, and I love that she's like taking her name and like putting it on all kinds of stuff, and like brand, it has all kinds of like Dolly Parton branded stuff, like the cake mixes and like I think there's a couple TV dinners that they have out. Actually, I hate to say this, but there were a couple that I ate and they weren't good. But I do love Dolly Parton. I just adore her, and we watched the Dolly Parton Christmas movies during the holidays and stuff. But they do have like Dolly Parton themed, because like Holly Dolly Christmas, all that kind of stuff. They do have these like mugs and all kinds of like Christmas stuff for Dolly Parton. And I like that ornament that I got was the coat of many colors. I love all the Dolly Parton Christmas stuff. And so they had these mugs in there, and they were clearanced because it was after Christmas, and so the original price was I was about to say regular and original. The original price was $6, and so they had the Christmas stuff half off. So these were only $3 a piece. And what was stupid is they had two. These aren't stupid. I mean, what was stupid that I did was they had two different versions of like these mugs, and one says "Deck the Halls with Songs of Dolly" instead of Holly, and so I thought that was kind of cool. And then this one, have a Holly Dolly Christmas, and which is like something that they say in the promos every single year when they play those Christmas movies, and have a Holly Dolly Christmas instead of Jolly. And so and like the handle looks like a candy cane, like these really cute little mugs. And so I was going through the mugs, and I had like one of each of these in my hand, and I was just like going through them and like just to see if there were any more. And then I picked up the two because I wanted like one of each, and then I took them up to the register. And then when I got home, I pulled them out of the bag, and I thought, crap! I accidentally, like in the chaos of like going through the mugs to see if they had any different ones, I was looking at the mugs, and in the chaos, I bought two of the same one. Of course, I thought my mom can have one, and then I'll have the other one. But like I thought, damn it! So I thought if I go back out to Dollar General sometime, and they have the mug that I accidentally left there, then I'll get it then. And of course they did, so I went ahead and got the extra mug that I missed out on. But the Dollar General that I went to, it wasn't the same one. But it's just crazy how many Dollar Generals are in our town, and I mean like 20 or 30 of them. And the only reason I know that is because of like a story I'll tell in the future. Is about these Hallmark Hall of Fame movies. It was like this quest after the pandemic to find all the Hallmark Hall of Fame movies that they were getting in our Dollar Generals and stuff. And we literally like drove to every single Dollar General and stuff. It was an excuse to get us out of the house and like back into society or whatever. We went around to like every single Dollar General we could without like driving out of town and looking for those Hallmark Hall of Fame movies. But so we knew that like how many Dollar Generals there are in our town. But so while we were out, I wanted to swing back into a Dollar General and see if they had the mug that I missed at the other Dollar General. And luckily they did. They had it too. But then they had one that my other Dollar General didn't have. And this one is like a red mug, and it says "Deck the Halls with Songs of Dolly." And so it's like this really pretty red version of the mug. And then this one was $6, but clearance half off to $3. And so I got those Dolly Parton mugs. We love Dolly Parton. But I got those at Dollar General, and I think that's all the Dollar General stuff. And this is sort of a random thing. Like I've said, I collect the 10th Kingdom magazines, or magazines with like the 10th Kingdom articles in it. The 10th Kingdom was this miniseries that was on NBC in the year 2000, and I just love the 10th Kingdom. It has like a really hardcore, a smaller but a really hardcore fan base, even though it was just like a 5-part miniseries on NBC, decades ago. But I love the 10th Kingdom, and so I like to collect because I thought like this would be like an attainable collection to amass, like all of the magazines with the 10th Kingdom ads or articles in it, because like how many things are like that are there going to be out there. And so this popped up on eBay. I got the week after too, just to have there's no pictures of the 10th Kingdom in this, but I went and got this this too. But this one is like Sun Stations. I guess it's like cable TV listing. It reminds you of like the old TV guides, but this must have been like in a newspaper or something. But it has the 10th Kingdom on the cover of it, and it has an article on the inside. But this came from eBay, and I bought that on eBay. But see how it reminds you of the old TV guide if you grew up in my generation or the generations before. I used to love the TV guide. I still have like my collection of TV guides. It's a collection just because I haven't thrown them away. So like all the stuff that I haven't thrown away, it's a vintage collection now. No, it's just like a bunch of TV guides that I kept because I did used to love the TV guide. No, I still love the TV guide. I just wish it still existed as the original magazine it was. Not when they went to those big magazines, I wasn't as crazy about it, but I do have a lot of the original small TV guides. But another fun thing about buying all these old magazines like this is you can read through and like read about a movie and then think, oh, I wonder if they like released it on VHS, you know, in the early 2000s or whatever, and then, like, you know, look it up and see if it exists somewhere, or like on a streaming service somewhere, or like one of those big DVD sets that has like, you know, 30 movies in it, and sometimes they have like, you know, obscure movies in that too. But it has like an article in here about the 10th Kingdom and a little blurb in the front and all that. But it's just like a really cool vintage magazine to go with my 10th Kingdom collection. And I guess the last thing I'll talk about here at the end is one of my commenters said that Herrschner's Crochet in Chaos. I'll link your YouTube channel in the description. Go follow her channel too. But she said that Herrschner's is selling the Big Twist Living yarn, like all the pride colors. I looked into it. The only ones that, because like I thought that yarn was gone and when Joann closed. And like I know that the Big Twist was resurrected in other places, and Herrschner's got some of it, and Michael's theoretically. You know, they do have Big Twist in my store, but it does exist in like random places and stuff. But I guess it just depended on what mill was connected to what store and like why, you know, Michael's has some of the Big Twist and why Herrschner's has some, but, you know, different ones, and like why it's just sort of like scattered all over the place. But at least some of the Big Twist was saved. And I assumed that like the Big Twist Living, all the pride colors that they did were gone because they hadn't popped up anywhere. And then she told me in the comments that Herrschner's is selling the Big Twist Living in the pride colors. I looked into it, and the ones that they don't have are the inclusivity, like, you know, the main rainbow one, and then the trans skein, and then the lesbian. They don't have those three, but they do carry the bi, ace, non-binary, and pan colors. So I thought like the other ones must have like been from a different mill that they weren't connected to or something, because like I don't know why they wouldn't have those colors. Like maybe like those were the one. What I'm assuming, I don't go by what I say, but like what I'm assuming is like Big Twist, when they released the Living, maybe they started with the inclusivity and the trans colors and the lesbian, and then like maybe like the second iteration of it, they added the bi, ace, non-binary, and pan or something, and maybe they use a different mill with those, and that's why those still exist and why the other ones don't, or like I don't know. I have no idea why, but at least there's some of them that still exist out there, but just not all of them. But thank you for telling me about that in the comments. But since I'm talking about the whole pride stuff here at the end, I will show this. When I went to Goodwill, I did find this too. It was cool to see these in Goodwill. It's one of those like equality flags, and this is really cool, but the designer, like the graphic designer in me, it's gonna bug me about this. It's one of these like equality flags where the U is has the rainbow colors, and they had like a bunch of these at Goodwill, and so I got one. This was $2.99. Well, what's stupid is like I buy so much of all this pride stuff, no matter where I see it. Like I didn't even realize I had this already. So I have two of these now, but whatever. Because like I have like this big drawer like full of all my pride stuff. Some of it's like that tacky shit. Stuff that because I mean, let's be serious, like a lot of that stuff is really tacky and gaudy, but it doesn't stop me from buying it and supporting the stores that, you know, carry it. But I do have a lot of that pride stuff. I'm the person, if you're wondering like who would buy that, you know, tacky stuff, like even if you're in a part of the community and you're like, you know, walk through the pride stuff, even, you know, some people in our community probably walk by that and think, who would buy that tacky? And I'm like, me. I'm the kind of person that does that. So I have a big drawer full of all that stuff, and so I buy so much of it that I forgot that I had this. I'm sure I bought this. I think I bought this secondhand at Salvation Army. If I'm remembering right, I know I found one in Salvation Army, but I can't remember. I think the one of this kind I bought it at Salvation Army. What kind of bugs me about this, even though now I have two of them, but because I'm a graphic designer, and so what bugs me about something about modern design is the way they like split up words, like I've seen shirts like this too, where they'll take like a word and let's say like I'm just making this up, like let's say like, you know, freedom, and they use like a giant font. What it feels like, I know it's like a design decision to do this, but where it feels like they took in my head, it feels like they chose like a really big font, and then they started to design the shirt, and then they like ran out of room, and then they thought, oh crap, I have like, you know, 4 more letters to put on underneath it, and so instead of like changing the font size, maybe they don't know how, they just like put the rest of the word underneath, like you know, that kind of stuff. I don't like that, because it just sort of feels like, I know it's purposeful, I know that they do it on purpose, but it just sort of, and I know it's like a design choice, but it just sort of feels like kind of half-assed designed, or like, you know, designed wrong, because like in my head it's like make the font smaller so that you know, the whole word will be there on the same line, and so like it would be like, you know, freedom, and they're like FREE, and it's like, oh crap, we left, we don't have room for a dumb, and so they put like DOM, like FREE, and then underneath is like the rest of the word DOM, like, you know what I'm saying? It just seems like I get that they like sort of like this, like equality. I know that they wanted to single out the word equal in the word equality, but it sort of feels like this says equal and then itty at the end. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just sort of, I don't know. That's just like a design pet peeve of mine. But this is a reflective of like a lot of stuff that, like, I never saw this before. This is like sort of a modern design, like within the last decade maybe, unless I just don't know of anything before that. But I'm starting to notice this kind of stuff, like on T-shirts or other designs, where they are taking like one word and like making it huge font and then just like splitting it up. I don't know. There's like a workout thing that does that too. I forget what it is. Of course, I don't know what it is, because do I look like I work out? Yeah, I go to the gym every day. Like, bullshit. God, I get a little bit comfortable and like a cuss word pops out. It doesn't matter. If you're watching at this point, then you don't give a crap. But whatever. And so and I did find this at Dollar Tree the other day. I had this with my equality flag, but I found this too at Dollar Tree. This wasn't even like Pride Month or June or October or nothing. They had like a bunch of these at Dollar Tree, which is cool that Dollar Tree carries this kind of stuff. But I bought this. Turns out I already have one of these too. So now I have like, you know, 2 equality flags, or equal itty flags, and then and 2 of these, you know, fans to make it look even more ridiculous. But whatever. And so I do have. That actually felt really good. It's kind of hot in here right now, because I'm like right by the heater. So I'm gonna have that, but that's just like a random thing here at the end. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's like sort of all over the place in one of my variegated videos, but that's just what my videos are going to be from now on, because, you know, I do find a lot of yarn, an excessive amount of yarn, and do crocheting and stuff. But I also find like a bunch of like knickknacks and random stuff, and I mean, if you're watching my videos at this point, you already know that. And but you know, I always bring it back to the crochet or yarn or whatever at the end somewhere. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, another one of my variegated ridiculous videos, and I'll see you in the next one.